Hallo und herzlich willkommen zur 78. Folge von Suzerain, zusammen mit Apfel.
Hallo.
Letzte Folge haben wir, oh Gott, mein Auge juckt. Letzte Folge haben wir unsere Re-Election-Campaign gestartet. Und heute haben wir ein Meeting on Economy und es sieht gut aus. Es sieht zum ersten Mal gut aus.
Echt so.
I arrived at the Ministry of Economy and proceeded upstairs. An assistant waiting by the door to the meeting room took my jacket. Simon. I opened the door and entered the largest boardroom in the building. Simon was sitting alone with a glass of water and his documents laid out before him. He stood up when I entered and approached me. After a quick handshake, I took a seat.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good to see you!
Likewise.
A knock was heard on the door and Gloria entered the room. Wer hat dich eingeladen?
Apologies, I got held up. Did you start yet? Mrs. Vice President. No, not yet. What? There. Now that everyone is here, let's begin. As you all know, we are here to review the economic progress we've made over the past term and decide how to proceed. I will brief you quickly on what we have done so far. Just a refresher.
Well, let's hear. He gathered the documents in the pile in front of him and adjusted his glasses. From the pile, he produced two booklets and handed them to us.
Our extra focus on the economy has resulted in some small-scale positive growth. Small scale? The extra resources have been a boon to my ministry. It would be great if we followed up on this focus during our next term. Let's take a deep dive into the details now. Please turn to page 5.
Boon heißt Segen. Turn to page 5.
Let's start off with our economy plan. I'm glad to say that we are on track with our initial plan for our market economy.
Easy snack.
Most of our decisions so far have been pretty consistent.
I'm happy I've been making the right moves. Thank you for your efforts.
Ja. Indeed. Good job, Mr. Hall. Oh, ich habe mir bei dem Indeed gerade voll auf die Zunge gebissen.
Nice.
Thank you, you're too kind. Let's move on with the report. If I were to describe what we have done so far, I would say that this is very close to a laissez-faire economic system.
Keine Ahnung, was das ist, aber okay.
Which leaves us horribly equipped for the war we are about to enter. Then.
What?
War is always costly and our economy will suffer tremendously no matter what. The real question here is how much.
Stop the war!
And my answer to that is, it is hard to say at this point. It depends on how long it will go on for and whether we are on the winning side. We will be on the winning side, we have to be.
Eins. Wir müssen ein bisschen
Ja.
Selbstbewusstsein ausstrahlen.
Ja. One thing is for sure. One way or another, we will pay for the war. Please turn to page 16.
Turn to page 16. Status of trade and effects of the foreign policy.
I'm happy to say that our trade has increased since the beginning of our term. We're on the right path. More trade means a more vibrant economy, which means unbridled economic development. For better or for worse, Scotland is becoming quite reliant on foreign economies. It is shameful that a great country like Scotland has to rely on other countries. We
Schnauze!
need to become self-reliant as soon as possible. Globalization is at our doorstep whether we like it or not.
Zwei.
Ja. We will have to carefully consider this matter during our second term. Please turn to page 17.
Turn to page 17.
In our attempt to repair Scotland's economic system, we have generally sided with business. Even though the country benefited financially, the people suddenly weren't fond of it. The bad news is our living standards are decreasing. We've been receiving more and more complaints about our welfare systems. That's unfortunate. Keeping citizens happy is integral to keeping Scotland stable. Exactly. Some of our industries have also been knocked down to their knees by our recent taxations. The demand for these goods has decreased drastically, which led to businesses in these industries being shut down. Junge, Digga.
Simon redet immer so viel.
Oh. Some people are calling the government out for infringing on their personal liberty. Apparently, some even filed lawsuits saying the taxes violate their human dignity. The lawyers argued for them that they needed for mental health treatment.
Ja, Mental Health braucht man nicht.
Ein bisschen Mental Health. Now to page 34.
Turn to page 34.
Production in our country has nearly doubled since the start of our administration. It is a great success.
Nice.
Nice.
Doubled? It's not enough! We need to triple our production! No, quadruple!
Wir sehen so einen dritten Run, wo wir alles zerstören.
Ja, mal schauen. Es gibt noch so... Ich hätte gern einen Diktatur-Run.
Das wäre auch nice.
Ich meine, es gab immer die Möglichkeit, einen Purge zu machen, aber das war ausgegraut. Also es ja, ein Political Purge. Wir hätten einen Political Purge machen können. Aber es war ausgegraut. Es war irgendwann, da war es nicht da. Ich hätte drauf gedrückt, aber es war halt ausgegraut.
Damn it.
Zur selben Zeit habe ich auch Gefängnisse privatisiert, also ich will nicht wissen, was da abgeht. Und es gibt ja auch ein Achievement, was du kriegst, wenn du Soll hinrichten lässt.
Du hast es, oder?
Nein, habe ich nicht. Wir haben Soll nicht hinrichten lassen.
Okay.
Wir haben doch nie die Möglichkeit gekriegt. Alle hassen uns und lieben Soll. Oh, warte.
That's excellent news. Something to build on during our next term. Teamwork makes it happen. Moving on to logistics.
Müssen wir nicht umblättern?
We have an infrastructure problem and the economy won't truly flourish unless we solve it. Ich sehe kein Problem in unserer Economy.
Nur Aufgaben.
We need to make new roads and improve the existing ones. People and businesses alike have been complaining. Wir sollen nehmen, was sie haben. Smoother commutes, easier access and faster delivery times would help everyone out. We're very close to the end. I want to talk about a few numbers. Please turn to page 57. I have prepared a chart.
Turn to page 57.
Our inflation rate is currently at an amazing 2%,
Yeah.
down from 7%. It's the lowest Scotland has ever seen.
Yeah! Was haben wir jetzt? Auch 7? 10?
Auch schon so um den Dreh, ne?
Ja.
The Scottish rents value has been largely maintained and consumer prices have been stabilized. which means that their citizens are happier.
Also gedruckten Gloria. We are writing history here.
Agreed. Mr. President, do you have any questions so far?
What is our debt situation?
Our debt is at 310 billion SR. Down from 400. Ja, das hat jetzt ein bisschen gebraucht, bis es geklickt hat. Down from 427 billion SR at the beginning of our term. We managed to bring it down quite a bit. True. As a result, international investment has increased along with our government budget.
Yeah. Wie sieht es mit den Unarbeitenden aus?
The unemployment rate is at 5%, down from 6%.
Yo!
Boah, Digga! The change is mostly due to our investments in wise economic planning.
Ja, ich wusste schon,
dass die Leute hassen!
Ich weiß es nicht! What are the latest numbers of our GDP? Ich glaube, die haben uns gehasst, bevor unsere Economy so geboomt hat.
True. Our current GDP is at 513 billion SR, a major increase from the 310 billion SR we had at the beginning of our term.
Nice!
Yeah. As per the latest stats, the economy grew 16% in the last 4 years on average. In short, we are enjoying an increased economic capacity.
Those are all questions I had.
Very well. I want to quickly highlight our budget expenditure. My numbers indicate that overall we've been fairly balanced in spending our government budget.
Wir waren zwar kurz mal bei -4 oder so, aber ja, wir sind so ziemlich...
Ja. A balanced approach is good. However, we shouldn't forget that money that is not spent is just pieces of paper.
Ja, deswegen sind wir auch bei 0.
Ja, besser als -1.
Ja, eben.
Now going to the elections and hopefully a second term, we need to decide on the way forward. An extravagant economic action.
Die Maus hat wieder zweimal geklickt, ich hasse es. Ich sollte die letzte machen.
Clear. Our economy is solid enough that we can start thinking big.
Krieg!
Extravagant economic action would result in a tremendous increase in public opinion just in time for the election. Oh, wir sind auf einem guten Run. What should we do, Mr. President? Any ideas?
Nein!
Oh, shit!
3 Government Budget? Am Arsch! Am Arsch! Wir sollen nicht unter -2 gehen! Nothing!
Das wird die Economy wieder zerstören.
Aber wir können nicht unter -2 gehen!
Aber wenn wir nichts machen, das wäre halt gut für die Public Opinion. Das ist jetzt schwierig. Wollen wir jetzt nix oder?
Okay. We will pay back all student debts. Zahlen wir dann nur die Schulden zurück? Oder das, was die geschuldet haben? Weil es wäre ja unfair, wenn jetzt du gerade deinen Student Loan abbezahlt hast und dann, yo, wir erlassen jetzt alles. Hast du verkackt.
Das, ja, ich glaube, das kommt auch nicht gut an.
We will pay an unemployment wage so the jobless do not go hungry. Hartz IV, das sehen die Leute nicht gerne.
Ist, glaube ich, auch gerade nicht so die gute Idee.
Weil wir haben ja eh plus 5%.
Genau, ist ja echt runtergegangen. Ich glaube, das dritte wäre es, wenn noch.
We will provide housing assistance to all citizens who require it.
Wohl?
Housing Assistance heißt dann, dass wir ein bisschen was zahlen, damit die Haus haben können. Oder Wohnung oder sowas.
Da würde es mich jetzt interessieren, wie viele Homeless People wir so haben.
Den Fakt haben wir halt nicht.
Ja, das ist...
Oh Gott.
Also wenn, dann wäre es 3. Oder 4. Wenn wir unter -2 kommen, leitet die Economy davon.
Ich glaube schon. Ich glaube, dass die Economy leidet drunter. Suzerain. What
Ja, wenn dann
happened?
wieder Taxes kommen, damit wir unser Geld wieder bekommen, dann leidet auch die Economy.
Okay, warte mal. Suzerain. Ich will mir einfach den Wiki-Eintrag zum Government Budget durchlesen. General Tips, bla bla bla. Das hilft mir nicht weiter. Ich habe halt irgendwann mal gelesen, dass man nicht unter -2 kommen sollte, aber ich weiß nicht, ob das true ist. Äh. What debt is good debt? Did I get it right from patch notes that nothing bad will happen if you don't go lower than -3? And -5 for late. You're correct that you need to keep it above -3 in the early game, but in the most recent run, I hit it at -8 to -6 in the late game, and I still ended the run with a full 10 bars and a booming economy. Okay, also es würde anscheinend, macht anscheinend nichts. Ja, dann machen wir 3.
Ja. Das ist eine excellent idea.
Will ich hoffen.
I get right onto it. Now that's out of the way.
Okay.
During our first term, we have faced many challenges in the midst of a recession. We have worked hard to fight against all odds, and we've been beaten every single one. We have beaten every single one. We've been beaten
by every single one of them.
We've beaten the life-threatening disease, stopping it dead in its track before it could spread and damage our economy. No puns intended. No pun intended. Ach stimmt, das hat uns ja im letzten Run sowas von zerfickt.
Alles hat uns im letzten Run zerfickt. Wir hatten einen Bürgerkrieg.
Schön.
Die wollten uns stürzen. Wir mussten abhauen.
You may have surmised from the date of giving you that the worst of the recession is behind us. In fact, you'd be absolutely correct. We've entered what future historians might refer to as the Swedish recovery period.
Wir sind einfach geil. Swedish Economic Recovery Achievement. Gott. Ching.
Nice. This runs a celebration for sure. I like the sound of it. Swedish recovery period.
Und Peter war nicht dabei.
Oh, we've done well. We remember the rainy administration as the one that ended the recession.
Ja! Ja!
Congratulations, everyone. This was only a dream a few years ago.
Ja!
And we achieved it.
Nachdem es so schlecht aussah, die ganze Zeit.
Mr. President, we will go out for drinks later. But for now, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.
The meeting dispersed. I hurried to the cafeteria to get a cup of coffee. Warum hurryen wir?
Ich sehe schon den Gang runtersprinten. Use the bolt, Digga.
Schedule a television interview. You've done it! You've son of a bitch! Done it! Nee, keine Ahnung. You've son of a bitch! Made it. Egal. Lasst uns ein Like und ein Abo da, wenn es dir gefallen hat. Schaut beim nächsten Mal wieder vorbei. Morgen 14 Uhr geht's weiter und tschüss.
Tschüss.